Good morning, Gulfport High. We're glad you joined us this morning. We have another look in the academic institutes, find out what the Admiral Theater is up to, and a look into a topic that is rather more controversial in education these days. It's Friday, February 21st, and here is a new episode of Admiral-ish.
Good morning, I'm Johnny, a reporter here at WGTV, and I'll be filling in this morning for Life, who is gone with Educators Rising.
One of our programs in the academic institutes is Law and Public Safety. Mr. Nikes gets into the practice of law, taking his students into the courtroom. In fact, just this week you could have seen Mr. Nikes wearing a judge robe sitting at the front of the court. But this program is a lot of hands-on education as well. Reporter Sam shows us recent lessons students had with professionals.
There's more to law and public safety than just, the law. You actually have to learn how to properly use the equipment. However, training on this equipment can actually be fun. That's how Mr. Nikes' class likes to learn. In the game, teams are spraying water at the cones, attempting to knock them down. Whoever knocks down the most cones goes on to the next round. But there's a catch. They're in full gear, weighing them down, making their challenge a little bit harder.
Honestly, all this, I didn't realize how hard it was to actually be a firefighter. All our gear, we're wearing 3 different layers, and it can be heavy at times. Our boots are heavy, but it's super fun. It's just working together as a team is challenging, but in the end, it's all really fun, and it's a really great experience.
You turn it to the left and to get different settings, and you have to have multiple people on the hose so that you can hold it.
Honestly, my only strategy was to keep pushing and keep running because the pressure of the hose wants to push you back. But I was just you gotta keep going, you gotta keep going. And that was honestly it.
No matter how strenuous the training can be, our students are always learning something new on how to make the world a better place.
According to a study conducted by the Pew Research Center, 95% of high school students carry a phone with them at school. The majority of those students admitted to being distracted by their phones during class. Most educators will say that the increase in phone usage has caused a change in students' performance in the classroom. Recently, a school district here on the coast adopted a new phone policy to help with this, and I went into some classrooms to see how such a policy would be received. In our community, Pass Christian High School's admin implemented a new policy regarding cell phones. Students must put their phones in their school bags or place them in designated phone holders before class starts. But in between classes and during lunch, students are allowed to have their phones. This is said to prevent distractions throughout classes. If this was implemented in all of your classes, would you agree with the recent change? If not, what would you do as a student to stay engaged in class to prevent the risk of having a similar or even stricter policy?
I feel like we should at least, when the teachers or the principals tell us to put our phones away, we should. But if there's an emergency, we have permission to get it out.
I don't think we should do that. I think we should establish rules and have punishments it was you'll get your phone taken away or something, because it could be emergencies or anything like that could happen. And so, I don't think you should put your phone in a holder because anything can happen, really.
Yeah, and what she said, but I got this, and if it gets taken away, baby, I'm gonna cry.
I don't really agree with it because I think we just not be on our phones in class, just listen to the teacher. But yeah.
Well, I feel like you should respect the teacher's class time and not be on your phone, because if that were a thing, just don't be on your phone during class. Respect the teacher's time.
I disagree with it because I think that people should just learn self-control, and I think that's a bigger issue than the phones, really.
I feel like I agree with this because I feel like students should focus in class more, and we shouldn't be focused on TikTok, mainly TikTok, and on their phones all the time.
Teachers here at GHS also have their own classroom policies about students and their phones.
I really think these policies are helpful. We don't want to just, deprive you of your phones, because I know that phones are important. My phone's important. And I know that there are times when you need to be able to get in touch with your parent or guardian or other things. And so I like the idea of you being able to have your phones, but I also know that phones are tempting. Mine's tempting. I have to put mine in my desk drawer, y'all. I mean, it really is. I get it. But we've got to make sure that you can focus on stuff in class because we only have you a few hours of the day for a semester. And so for me, at least in my classes, and so it's important that we have a way to help you stay focused. And so in my classroom, for those of you that haven't had me, I have a little pocket thing that I keep at the front of my classroom, and it's numbered, and each of my students is assigned a pocket number, and that's where they put their phones at the beginning of class. There is a an index card with that same number inside the pocket. They put their phone in, take the index card out, keep that on their table, and that's how I know that everybody's got their phone put where it needs to be, and so that we can all be on the same page and keep learning.
It's clear that opinions vary amongst both students and teachers, with some supporting the policy for the sake of focus, while others believe it limits their ability to use phones responsibly for learning. Whether you agree or disagree, one thing is certain: finding a balance between technology and classroom engagement is crucial.
The fine arts at Gulfport High have been the best, most talented students around. In our last episode, we got to see a little bit about what band students were working on. This week, we are going to take a look on what's going on in theater. Reporter Michelle has a story on drama at GHS.
The GHS Advanced Theater Program went to Meridian, Mississippi from January 17th to January 20th to compete at MTA. The Mississippi Theater Association has different categories at which schools can compete. GHS competed in Theater of Youth, Splash Scenes, and Tech Olympics. They won first place for Theater of Youth with their production The Hairy Man and Wiley, and they also were finalists for Splash Scenes and Tech Olympics.
We put on the production Wiley and the Hairy Man. I played the Hairy Man, crazy role. Basically, it's about Wiley overcoming his fears. It starts out with him laying down, having nightmares about the Hairy Man because his father was taken away by the Hairy Man.
It is based in Alabama. While the story is whimsical, it is also scary, and it is a story for all ages.
It just has different steps on like how to defeat the Hairy Man, and it shows Wiley overcoming his fears with those steps and the dynamic with him and his mother helping him out.
So MTA, it's a competition that the Mississippi Theater Association puts on every year. Last year it was local, this year it was in Meridian, and it's just a really great experience. We get to take inspiration from a lot of other schools. Theater shows, there's multiple different divisions. There's like the main shows, and then there's Theater for Youth, which is what we won, thankfully.
Tech Olympics is basically when MTA gives us these assignments that our tech crew would have, such as putting clothes on hangers, like doing quick changes for characters, and also like changing sets.
And Splash Scenes, we were given random scripts, and you don't know who you're going to get paired with. They pull your name out of like a bucket, and you go up and you read a script to somebody. They're the other part. You have to memorize the lines within like a couple days. And yeah, we had multiple finalists for that and semi-finalists.
Then we did costume changes, and I was a person they were dressing, so I just had to stand there and help them whenever I could. And then we were having to change a set and memorize where the places were. So it was a very complicated process, but in the end we won second place overall because we were quick enough to win above all the other teams at MTA, which I'm very proud of us.
Every year, the GHS Little Theater puts on a spring musical. Last year, it was the High School Musical, but this year, it's Mamma Mia Musical, which was announced at the Homecoming Parade and the Winter Showcase.
Mamma Mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist ya? Mamma Mia, does it show again? My, that's how much I missed ya. Yes, I've been broken-hearted.
This is the perfect summer musical set in a Greek island with ABBA songs.
A lot of people, I think, don't know that the movie is actually a shorter version than the musical. So the musical includes more songs, which means more dance numbers. So a lot more fun we're going to have on stage than what you get to see in the movie. So we all know that Mamma Mia takes place in Greece. So very beachy and very fun. We're really excited to play around with how the wardrobe's going to look like. So.
So don't forget to mark up in your calendar April the 24th to the 27th and May the 1st through the 3rd to come see Mamma Mia at the GHS Little Theater.
February is Black History Month, and students and teachers both do a lot here at GHS to honor the legacy of African Americans and their contributions to the world. Miss Haynes, a teacher in the HHS Institute, leads the school in the study of Black history by encouraging classes to come together to create a gallery walk of Black history.
My hope and vision was to make others aware of the cultural aspects and the contributions of our culture to the rest of the world.
As students and teachers have come together to put on the gallery walk displays, attention has been brought up to some important parts of history that many students didn't know before.
This is another one of those instances where the more you learn, the more you realize just how much more there is to learn.
I would like students to come away with a better understanding of the differences that we all make in the world, not just the contributions that African Americans make, but that we all make. At this moment, the focus has been, African American contributions, but we all make contributions, and I would like everyone to take that away from going around seeing the various historical figures posted on each class door.
Be sure to take the time to walk around all the halls and check out the gallery walk as we celebrate Black History Month.
That concludes this episode of Admiration. Don't forget, next Friday, February 28th, the Student Council will be hosting the Teacher versus Teacher volleyball game to raise money that will go to helping the Make-A-Wish Foundation fulfill a little girl's dream.
My Kelty has a terminal illness and would love to get to visit a Disney park while she's able to. Please help Student Council and the Make-A-Wish Foundation do this. Tickets are only $1, but if you give more, your name will be entered in a special drawing. Thanks for watching this morning, and see you next week.